Okay. Um, week 2. Making decent progress on the character. I'm actually pretty happy with where I'm at right now. We moved away from elemental hit and we are now stacking anger. Just anger. But we have a very, very large anger. Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. And we're using Vaal Firestorm. So, Vaal Firestorm is the easy bit. We have a cast time of 0.58 seconds. We have a soul gain prevention of 0.35 seconds, which means that our Vaal Firestorms can gain souls for the Vaal Firestorms they get. My soul gain prevention probably could be higher because Vaal Firestorm has a huge wind up. And Vaal Firestorm is clunky. Those 16 bolts, they go all over the place. And especially on indoor maps, it really feels like you're not getting your money's worth. Anyway, let's talk about anger. Because we have anger reserved right now. Our anger is reserving 93.75% of mana, which seems excessive, but this is what we want to do. And the reason for that is we are running Supreme Ego. With Supreme Ego, that means that we have 47% more effect of anger on ourselves. Now our anger adds 176 to 251 additional fire damage, but we also have increased effect of the aura of 79%, and one of the things we're doing is that we are running a level 20 anger inside of a Crest of Desire. So the Crest of Desire can add plus 7 levels, plus 8 levels. I have a plus 7 one. Our anger could be level 21. I have level 21, level 21. And our basic anger does 109 to 151 additional fire damage. We, I think, triple that from the number that it actually adds here, which is already 176 to 251. So we get like 70% more, and then we triple it. So we're like running the equivalent of 5-ish level 20 angers. And the reason we can do that is because we have this node which says anger has 30% increased aura effect, which is good, and has 25% increased reservation, which is also good if you are planning to use Supreme Ego and put all your mana on anger. Other notable things: reduce skill effect duration, which we need is for Vaal Firestorm to get our soul gain prevention down, and 15% increased cooldown recovery rate. This one, it's the same deal. Anger, increased reservation, increased aura effect, and reduced skill effect duration, increased cooldown recovery. We are using all 4 of these mods on these 2 items. The items themselves are bad. They're bad. And bad. But they do the job quite well. Our armor is also bad. It's 101 life and then 40 total resists. No, 50 total resists. Gloves are great. We have inflict fire exposure and a nerve. Inflicting fire exposure is fantastic because we have the node that makes our exposures at least impact for negative 18%. We also scorch, which means that we can dumpster monsters' resistances pretty well, actually. Castle damage taken, life tap, steel skin, and Ice Nova. Why are we running Ice Nova? It's only a level 8 Ice Nova, but our level, where's Ice Nova? 8 Ice Nova does 2000 to 3000 fire damage, which is, a nice addition. Our Shock Nova does the same thing. We have the same thing again for Voltaxi Burst and Mana Bond. Mana Bond is hilarious. Because Mana Bond, we're almost always at full mana, because nothing we do spends mana. So all of these skills are just visual spam, and whenever we get hit, right, we have a level 1 cast on damage taken. So whenever we get hit for like 528 damage, we cast 1, 2, 3, 4 spells, and all said and done, that's like another 8,000 fire damage, which is nice because we do leech some of that, but it's not like amazing. We're using a fireball to build up souls. Where are you? Fireball. Also a Vaal fireball. That's not optimal, right? Because that means that we have to charge this thing up before it stops sucking up souls. But it does give us +1 level because of our sacrificial guard. Fire penetration, life tap, because it's the only way we can afford things. Create multiple projectiles, cruelty, and pierce. This is another cast on damage taken with a couple of things. This is our dash and our flammability. And then we have our cast on damage taken, life tap, and mana bond. All of this is working great, honestly. I'm very pleased with how this is behaving. So let's take a quick look at how it behaves. I'm gonna take a tier. I'm clearing tier 15s. I also have learned that I can't actually talk to a map when I'm dealing with a tier 15 map. So we're just gonna do a tier 11 and talk through some of the other tech. First of all, we are using the life flasks, which can't be removed from you. This is a nightmare, because you have to look down here to this little stupid bar to see what's going on. Unless you buy MTX, and then you can tell because your whole screen is green. I highly recommend this. That actually helps figure out what exactly is going on. Okay, so now we are good, and we should be able to start firebombing. And every time we cast one, that one didn't have enough souls, we can just drop more of these things and let them do their business. It's a pretty sweet setup. It doesn't feel like it is really living up to expectations. You can see that whenever I get hit, it is a Christmas tree of different effects. And we're just dumping these things out. We don't have a very clean clear of the map. I don't like that part. We have a lot of stragglers we leave behind. I think getting a Herald of Ash in here would be ideal. Now, do I want to put a Herald of Ash into this build? Doesn't really work well with the way it's set up. It just works well with Anger. Ooh, I've been considering buying one of those. But we really want to put all of our mana on Anger, and I don't want to like shove it on life, because that's just going to get me killed. These things are tanky. Anyway, so overall, this build is doing great. Right, we're able to run through while talking through a build and blow things up in a delirium, and that is fantastic. Right, that's something is working well here. I also have pretty decent luck clearing higher level maps, although when you're distracted that goes absolutely piss poor, so we're not doing that. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to take this to tier 16 maps, which is fantastic. That is usually exceptional for my builds that I'm willing to stick with them that long, and or they just behave that well. Again, Vaal Firestorm, great for boxes. Great for anything that involves monster spawning in like a spot. I really like it for that. But it's really bad at indoor maps. Right, so if you're like wondering like how is this cooked to make it look more favorable, we're running beach. And we have plenty of room, we can run around, we can use our movement speed defensively, we can rely upon zigging and zagging, whereas there's definitely maps that do not allow you to do that. And the other thing is that if you're getting half of your effect out of Vaal Firestorm when you are in indoor map, I'd be amazed. I think that you're running like 25% effect. But yeah, it's, you know, it blows things up. We have a sustain from our flasks. We fix our resist with our flask. Oh, this is bad. We are relatively immune as far as different map mods are concerned. For instance, we, you know, don't have to worry as much about reflect, which is a pretty big deal right now. And that is a huge benefit. You know, you have enough flexibility in points, where you spend your points. We also have the benefit of, what do you call it? The, let's see, let's talk about some passives that are important. We have the Chill of Corruption to gain souls when we shatter. We chill and shatter a lot. We have a Watcher's Eye, which gives us Leech. And we have a Sublime Vision, which gives us Scorch and increased effect of anger. All of those are things that are amazing. Another thing that I found that is pretty nifty about running beach is that it seems like you always get this completely open little island whenever you have a Vaal side area in beach. And yes, I'm spec'd for Vaal side areas. I love myself some Vaal things, and I enjoy having those parts on my map. Okay, let's get the souls going. It's a little bit sketch just because of how many mobs are in these zones. And this is an alluring Vaal side area, which makes it definitely more sketch. But we can have quite a good amount of effect from our build doing this. And, you know, these little Vaal side areas, they don't take a lot of time. There are a lot of rares and uniques and other good stuff. And that is a amazing little setup. And now we need to buy everything and get out of here. There we go. Well, buy. Just pick it up. Let's take a quick look at bossing. Make sure you turn your flasks on. That's one of the things that I found that I spend more time with my flasks not up than I would prefer. It feels clunky. I don't exactly know what I've broken. These guys, I tend to discharge them to 60%, and that seems to be fine. Again, as soon as I get, what do you call it? Alright, we have everything? Sure. Let's talk about bossing. So, one of the things that is nice is that you gain souls from doing boss encounters much faster than you used to. So we're already on our second Vaal Firestorm, we're on our third Vaal Firestorm, and we have a pretty easy time keeping it up if our damage is commensurate with the hit points of the boss. And in this case, it looks like we're in the ballpark. And we're tanky. Tanky is good. Okay. So that's where we're at as far as tree goes. We are taking this for the gaining life from flasks. We have ailment avoidance to get it to 100%. We picked up natural remedies just to get to the point where we get enough flask duration. 25% chance to gain a flask charge when you deal a critical strike. We actually crit a lot. That is mainly because one of our weapons gives us like plus 6% to crit chance. And we just hit a lot. Field medicine. Profane chemistry. With enemies you kill that are affected by elemental ailments, gain 100% increased flask charge gained. Everything we kill is affected by elemental ailments, so that's great. Supreme Ego, again, one of the key aspects of the build. Sublime Visions for anger. This one is cheap. It's at 25%. You can get up to 40%. I'm pretty sure 40% will still be a few chaos. Window of Opportunity for reduced kill effect duration to get our soul gain prevention down. 60% reduced reflected elemental damage taken, probably why we survived last map. Ash, Frost and Storm for chance to freeze, shock and ignite. A Watcher's Eye with fire damage leeches life while affected by anger. We pick up Asylum for chaos resistance, better gear, and you won't have to worry about this. Last Rite. I don't know if I still need this. Yeah, I might be able to get rid of this. We have 40% reduced extra damage taken from critical strikes, which is awesome. But I think that this entire cluster of points has better use elsewhere. We just do enough damage that preventing regeneration and recharge isn't as big of a deal. And we can use the 4 points elsewhere. We have critical strikes do not inherently ignite. 100% increased damage with hits against ignited enemies. We have a lot of chance to ignite, so we're pretty good there. Fire damage, area of effect. Chaos resist, life. Sovereignty. So here's the issue with sovereignty. It is too good from a mana reservation perspective. Right? We want something less effective than that. So maybe we pick up some other nodes instead, so that we can get closer to 100% reservation. Exposures apply at least negative 18%, and then 50% increase damage, 50 life, resists chance to shock and ignite and freeze. Discipline and training for more life, and then amplify for more area of effect. We're level 90, so there's definitely still room to grow. We have less than optimal nodes here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes. These 3 nodes are less than optimal. Strength is not optimal, so that's like 9 nodes that we really should switch around. And we have anointed hematophagy? 10% increase maximum total life recovered per second from leech. I mean, with our Vaal Firestorms, they do a lot of damage. Our fireballs hit pretty hard. All of that gives us decent leech. Increased total recovery per second from life leech, and 40% increased damage while leeching. Might not be ideal, but it's a cheap annoyance. So, but yeah, that is the idea. Let's talk about what you can do if you are richer. First thing you can do is you could not use anger. The reason I'm leveling up this helmet is because this helmet has 30% increased aura effect for hatred. Increased effect of hatred is more effective than increased effect of anger. And the reason for that with hatred, we apply it to both sides of the equation, right? So, purchase items, anger, if we increase this by 50%, we just have 50% more added damage. On the other hand, if we increase this by 50%, we get 24% of physical damage is actually cold, and then we also get 21% more cold damage, right? You increase two multipliers that happen after each other. So you get more than the effectiveness would normally scale. So if you go Supreme Ego, and let's say you want to run something that has increased aura effect of hatred, and then another thing that gets you to roughly 100% increased aura effect of hatred, and then you reserve all your mana on hatred, and then you have 50% more, that's 200% effect of hatred. That is a lot, and it can do pretty ridiculous amounts of damage, I imagine. Especially if you have a way to explode things. This particular one gives a 20% life as physical damage explosion for puncture and ensnaring arrow, which are both garbage skills. But maybe this will work. We'll take a look at it and see how it goes. Anyway, that's where we're at. On anything I didn't cover, boots are just to fix stats, belt is to fix stats, gloves are to fix stats, chest is +1 level, and stats. Call of the Void allows us to shatter things. It also has, anger has 90% increased aura effect, which is awesome. And then we have the warp timepiece, which gives us reduced skill effect duration, as well as some cast speed and some movement speed. And then our Vaal ring is +2 level of Socket of Vaal gems. Neat. 150% more damage. Neat. Ignore enemy resistances. That's pretty good. And 30% reduced soul gain prevention duration. So that is additive with the reduced skill effect for the purposes of Vaal Firestorm. So yeah, gear is far from ideal. When I'm paying attention, I have an easy time on the tier 50 map, and that's just playing the same way as we played that other map, right? It's my atlas is set up for delirium, strong boxes, Vaal side areas, breach, and I forgot about that. What do you call it? What are these things called? Abyss. There we go. Anyway, I'm gonna go mess around in the Abyss.